the paradise. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Jehovah Elohim made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Jehovah Elohim had not caused it to rain on the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And Jehovah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Jehovah Elohim planted a garden, paradise eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Jehovah Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it was parted, and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is it which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good, there is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gid, the same as it that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is it which goes toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Jehovah Elohim took the man, put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Jehovah Elohim commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for in the day that you eat thereof you shall surely die. And Jehovah Elohim said, It is not good that the man should be alone, I will make him a helpmate for him. And out of the ground Jehovah Elohim formed every beast of the field, and every fowl of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them, and whatever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found a helpmate for him. And Jehovah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Jehovah Elohim had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her to the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh, she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall join to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Jehovah Elohim had made. And he said to the woman, Yes, as Elohim said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden, Elohim has said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, You shall not surely die, for Elohim does know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as Elohims, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Jehovah Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Jehovah Elohim among the trees of the garden. And Jehovah Elohim called to Adam, and said to him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree, whereof I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And Jehovah Elohim said to the woman, What is this that you have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And Jehovah Elohim said to the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. On your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. And Adam he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree, of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it were you taken. For dust you are, and to dust shall you return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. To Adam also and to his wife did Jehovah Elohim make coats of skins, and clothe them. And Jehovah Elohim said, behold, the man has become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore Jehovah Elohim sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from where he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life. Genesis chapter 2 verse 4 to chapter 3. To him who overcomes I will give to eat from the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. Revelation chapter 2 verse 7.